Hello and welcome everyone. We're talking about the current seasonal modifiers today and different passive modifier combinations that you can do. Hopefully to give you some advice, because I know a lot of people are asking what I'm using and they're a little bit confused by it. Now, I've already done a full guide about modifiers. We're not so much explaining this system today. Check back on the channel. I did it last week. I'll try and link it in the video description if I remember, if you want to learn about it. I'm just going to show you some combinations today where you can get some stats or stacks that you want on the module stacks, and hopefully it's going to be beneficial. But yes, let's use this as a information source as well, though. I'm going to give you a few to go with today that I've been using and that I've heard is kind of overly complicated, and you can really dig into this and probably tweak it even more. So comment down below all of your combinations and what they do, so people watching this video can see what I'm about to show you, but also read the comments and see what you're advising as well. I think that's the best way to do this. Okay, now I'm going to remove my cam. And we're going to start with something that I've been doing very early days, and that's just getting like the maximum amount of stacks either on offense, defense, or utility, so it stays as it is. So weapon handling, max armor, or skill damage. So I'm going to show you a first combination I use here to get the maximum out of the offense stats, so we can get weapon handling as high as I know that we can. And here it is. You can see we're at 67.5% weapon handling, and to do that, for the first passive, we're using saturate utility. You can do the saturate on defense as well if you want to, just whichever one you don't want to be having a stat on. Really notice that with saturate utility I've got no utility buff there now. Basically increases utility stacks by 25, but then no longer the effect is no longer active. Second, we're going to be going with offense compress. This is going to decrease offense stacks by 10, but each offense stack is 50% more potent when calculating affected stats, so that will further lower your offense stats. It sounds crazy, right? But however, the third one we're using is invert offense. Swap offense stacks with the current highest module stacks. If offense stacks are already at the highest, or defense utility stacks are tied for the highest, nothing happens. Now when we put that combination in, offense is then on 45 stacks at 50% more potency, and we're getting 67.5% weapon handling, if that's what you're looking for. We could do this on any one of these, so let me show you a combination to get the defense one the highest for the max armor. And there we go. We've done exactly the same, really, but we've got to 33.75% max armor. We've just used saturate utility again, because that's the one we didn't want. We could have gone saturate offense if we wanted to. We went compress defense to reduce the stacks of defense, but make them 50% more potent. And then we went invert defense to swap them around to make it how it is. And we could do the same for skill damage. Here you can see we've got 67.5% skill damage by going saturate on defense. Again, could have been saturate offense. We then went compress utility to decrease utility stacks and make them 50% more potent. And then invert utility to swap them around. And that's how we got 45 utility stacks at 50% more potency, giving us 67.5% skill damage. So that's pretty basic and what I started doing, and pretty much what I do now, to be honest with you. However, if you want to swap the stat, the attribute it gives you, like from weapon handling to headshot damage or magazine size, or from armor to protection from elites, there's something else you can do now to swap to them and still get some good benefit from them and get them as high as you can. So I'm going to show you those combinations. So here you can see we've got 135% headshot damage just with 30 offense stacks. How do we do that? Well, for the first slot there, we're going convert 1 to swap the weapon handling to headshot damage. Then for the second passive, we're going compress offense, which will decrease the offense stacks by 10, but then the 50% more potent. And then you want the third passive one here, nullify, which will reverse any value changes that have been applied to the lowest module stacks. And that is how it ends up. You get 135% headshot damage. There may be ways you can increase this, and maybe ways you can get close to this from other ones, but this is the one I can remember right now, and that's pretty decent. It'll be exactly the same if you want to do magazine size. Just by switching the first convert 1 to convert 2 for magazine size and doing the same, will get you 45% magazine size, which is pretty decent on something like a Lexington or Carbine 7. It's a 50 mag, it'll make them a 70 mag, just like the St. Elmo's. And then if you want to switch this to the defense part of it, so if you want to go for protection from elites, we'd go convert 1 to change it to protection from elite, and again compress on the defense to make it 50% more potent, and nullify again. This will give you 22.5% protection from elites. And switching convert 1 to convert 2 in the first slot there will switch it to hazard protection, and with the compressed defense and nullify, that'll take you to 45% hazard protection. Now, if for some reason on the skill damage you wanted to swap it to skill repair, you'd go convert 1 utility, you'd go compress utility to make it 50% more potent, and use nullify. That'll give you the 45 skill repair. Or you could go 45% status effects just by going convert 2 on utility, compress utility, and nullify. That will give you 45% status effects for status effect builds. So these are all pretty decent. They should get you going for sure if you're just looking to get the maximum out of any of the stats that are there. Again, do comment down below in the comment section. I haven't spent too much time on these and trying all the different combinations out. Apparently there's like over, was it 50,000 combinations or something? I don't have the time for that, but these numbers are pretty decent. I doubt you're going to go too much higher than that, but there is a way to get any of those higher. Do let us know in the comments. There have been a few more oddballs though that people have mentioned. I'm going to try and remember them now and PCs together though, so you can kind of see where you can go with this. So let's just say that you like the idea of having headshot damage and magazine size. Well, you can do that. And this combination here, this is what you do. For the first one, you want to go split utility, which will decrease your utility stacks by 15, but increase offense and defense stacks by 10 each. And then you can also do defense. If you want to decrease the defense, it'll do the same thing again. But in this scenario, I imagine you're going to want armor over skill damage, whatever you want. But then for the second passive modifier, you'll go convert 1 into headshot damage. And for the third passive modifier, you'll go convert 2 for magazine size. And it will give you both of the buffs. So we can see we've got 90% headshot damage there with 30% magazine size as well. And we could do this for each one of them again. If you're wanting to have 15% protection from elites as well as 30% hazard protection, you'd go split utility or split offense, whichever one you wanted. You go convert 1 defense and convert 2 defense. And then if you wanted to have 30% skill repair on top of 30% status effects, you go split on defense or offense. You then have convert 1 utility and convert 2 utility. And finally, I haven't tried this myself yet, but it looks insane. This is something Incoming sent to me, so a huge shout out to Incoming has sent this. He's been sending me a few combinations. He's been trying all sorts. It doesn't look, it looks mad off the bat. We'll explain what this is doing in a moment. But offense is 68, defense is 45, utility is 43, again 40% skill damage, right? And he's using in the first slot saturate on defense to increase the defense stacks by 25. Then he's using cascade. I don't have that, so I can't show you. This is one of the ones that cost 1,000 of the currency to unlock, but stats and active modifiers are no longer affected by the highest module stacks, but half of its value is added to each of the 2 other module stacks. If 2 or more module stacks are tied for the highest, nothing happens. And then saturate offense in the third slot there, increase offense stacks by 25, but offense stacks no longer affect stats. You know how that works. That ends like that, and you're thinking, well, why would you want to do that? Well, what this does by getting offense so highly stacked, they have an effect on your active modifiers. And in this setup, if you're using a skill build with the active modifier overload, what you're going to be getting is 64.4% reduced cooldown and 14 seconds of overcharge every 22 seconds with that 43% skill damage, which is pretty insane. So as you can see, there's quite a lot you can do to play around with these. You do need to get all of these unlocked though from the recombinant station. You need to go through your journey. Your weekly scouts will help as well to get the resource you need to buy all of these. I'm just a little bit short at a minute to get the cascade, but I really want to give that one a go that Incoming said. Because like I said, 14 seconds of overcharge and you can have reduced cooldown every 22 seconds that sounds incredible. For like a skill build or even like a skill hybrid build, maybe. I don't know. Sounds fun. So a lot you can do. Again, remember, like I said at the start of the video, I was just giving you some ideas today for the people that be thinking what combinations should I use. I give you some basic ones there. I think pretty much this is what most people are looking for, though. There's going to be some real wild ones, I'm sure. I'd love the discussion to carry on in the comments. If there's certain synergies you're doing with the passive modifiers, go ahead and share them so people can read through the comments and see what you are doing. But again, I hope it's been helpful. Give the video a like, subscribe for more content from me, and that's it for now. So until the next one, thank you for watching and take care.